Hi, this is Aaron Froats, better known as Froatsylvania to the Hex community and host of Shardcast. If you noticed, there wasn't a title screen that went through like I normally do on my Shardcast. The title of the video definitely isn't one for a match, and that's because something great actually happened for Shardcast over the last couple days. I posted 3 new episodes on Tuesday night, the 7th of January. Before up to that point in time, I had posted 13 other episodes, and a couple of other miscellaneous videos. And up to that point, I had gotten roughly 350 views, which is good. I mean, I'll take that. I just started on December 3rd, so awesome. I'll take that. But my last 3 videos alone since January 7th, I've gotten 217 views as of 8 o'clock this morning, which is phenomenal for Shardcast. At that point in time, I had seen, 20, 30 views per video. Each one of those videos have about 70 views. And that got me thinking that December 3rd was a little bit over a month away, but Shardcast has come a very long way in that time, and I couldn't do it by myself. There were a lot of people involved to make this happen and to help me to continue to grow. And I wanted to make a video to sort of, I guess, thank everybody. Well, not every, I want to thank everybody for watching my videos first and foremost, but there are specific individuals that I want to point out as being instrumental in making sure Shardcast progresses. Now, if I forgot your name from this list, I apologize profusely. I tried to go through each of my videos, I tried to go through my Twitter feeds, and grab people that have been, I think, very instrumental in helping Shardcast. If I forgot you, I sincerely apologize. There was no rebuffment whatsoever. It is currently about 9 o'clock in the morning here, and though I don't want to use that as excuse, I try to get everybody in. So I sort of try to throw this together. I didn't want to make this very fancy because really it's meant to be, like I said, a thank you video and not all glitz and whatnot that I usually have with my Shardcasts. So this is going to be a basic plain run through here as I go through and thank these people for helping Shardcast along, especially how far it's come in the short time it's been going on. So first and foremost, I would like to thank my wife. If you go by the name Charming in Hex, you probably don't see her hardly very often. She got into Hex more of, she's kind of excited for the PvE portion of it, not necessarily the PvP. She'll be in there every once in a while. But I have to thank her first and foremost. As many of you know, having spouses or significant others of your own that, spending time gaming, stuff like that, it takes some time to get better at it, that sort of thing. Casting's no different. For each one of my layouts I've done 2 separate sets of layouts now. Those probably took me a good solid 4 to 6 hours each time I did a set of layouts. On top of that, I do probably a good solid 20 to 30 minutes worth of prep time before I do a video. Of course, record the video and get it all uploaded. That takes a lot of time. And she has been great in being supportive and pushing me to get better, and really has been kind of the cornerstone to make sure this all happens. She could have very easily gotten upset that I'm spending so much time in the office doing all this, but she hasn't. She's been really great, and so I wanted to make sure I thanked her first and foremost for how far this has come along. So if you happen to see her out in the Hex lobby for whatever reason, decides she wants to go play a game or two, please give her a shout out and thank her for helping move Shardcast along, because she's not going to get any notoriety because she's not going to be streaming and all that stuff, so she's not going to be a big prominent figure in the community, but she is a big part of Shardcast, as she is obviously the biggest part of my life. So next I want to thank KAGA. When we first started getting the alpha access, KAGA and myself got it at the same time. We were part of the Slacker backers, and we both started talking about it would be really, really cool to do some sort of shoutcasting similar to League of Legends. We were playing League of Legends at the time, KAGA being a much more prominent player than myself. But he would watch League of Legends shoutcast. I am a big poker player, so I would watch obviously the World Series poker stuff like that on TV. And we kind of wanted to make something like that for Hex. So we bounced the ideas around about how we would do this and that sort of thing. So that's when we came up with the very first video doing the Shardcast together. Now, since then, KAGA found it more beneficial to him to focus more on playing and doing some of the permanent directing, because that's what he likes to do. That's his thing, which that's wonderful. I'm glad he decided to do something that he loves to do, rather than trying to stick with this and not be as animated and excited about it as I am. So, but I wanted to thank him first and foremost. Obviously, he's come on and done an interview with Shardcast. I've gotten casted a couple of his games. He's always out there retweeting when I go out there and do a cast. So I wanted to thank him first and foremost. After that, I want to thank Hex TCG Pro. Yes, I'm a member of their guild, and this isn't just a cheap plug. Hex TCG Pro, before I was an actual member of their guild, actually published one of my articles. They've now since published a second one on their website. And I wanted to give them a shout out because they're always retweeting my stuff as well. And that's one of the big things about a lot of these thank yous is I don't have a lot of Twitter followers yet. So every time I get a retweet from a member of the community, it's large for me because that's more people who have the opportunity to see my videos and to see your videos, the ones I'm actually casting. So it's kind of a scratch my back, scratch your thing. And I wanted to give thanks for people who do that. So, and Hex TCG Pro obviously, put on the tournament streamers that I first did some of my casting for, and didn't have any qualms about me picking up some of those games and casting. So again, a thank you to them. As you can see, as I'm going through these names, I'm also putting the Twitter handles, Twitch feeds on their YouTubes if I've got them. If I forgot one of your things here, I apologize again. I tried going through and getting everybody's. Again, I'm hoping this will get, if not one or two more people seeing your stuff here. So, being a tournament streamers, I'd be remiss to not thank Soldak and Hexcasters, as they were very instrumental in getting me started as well. As I started doing my casting, a lot of it was the tournament streamers when I first started, the second tournament streamers, I should say, and Soldak was pretty much the main, if not the only, caster out there. And I contacted him about casting some games. He could have very well said, nope, I've got this, find your own games to cast. Good luck to you, but sorry about you, I've got it. But he wasn't. He was very, very nice and very, very excited to see someone else getting into the casting scene. And I have nothing but the utmost respect and thanks for Soldak for helping me along, give me some pointers, even coming on one of my casts. Now, it sucked that I got sick in the middle of our dual cast that we were supposed to be casting the best of 3 match there. We never have finished that. I hope one time we do go through and actually do a dual cast or even finish that one. Because I had a lot of fun with that. It was kind of neat to see our two styles kind of mesh very well together. Because Soldak has his unique style that is very much a animated, excited style that gets a lot of people up at the edge of their seat. I can't cast like I've tried casting like that. I'm not that type of caster. He does it very well and pulls it off very nicely. So when the idea of us doing one together, we had talked about it, I was kind of, didn't know what to expect because, of course, like I said, we had 2 different styles. But it worked out very well. And if you didn't have a chance to catch that, I don't have the episode number offhand right now. Let's see if I can't grab it real quick. I want to say it's episode number 10, maybe? Let's see. 10. Episode 9. It was the round of 16 between J. Crawl and Hacky. If you haven't had a chance to catch that, please check that out. Because it's definitely a unique perspective into how we both cast and how it works so well together. So, again, thank you to Soldak and Hexcasters for the opportunity to cast those second tournament streamer matches and all the support he's given me in the development of Shardcast. Next on the list is Errantsquire. Errantsquire was the owner of the first video that Shardcast ever casted. That was the one that KAGA and I did together. And what makes this very special to me is we kind of, because we were trying to try it out and see how it goes, we didn't even contact errantsquire about using his video. And when we posted it, now I didn't have but a handful of followers on Twitter, but KAGA had several. And we were kind of interested to see how it would actually play out. errantsquire, because we actually tagged him in the tweet, I should say, came back immediately and was excited about the prospect. Now again, like Soldak, he could have come across been upset that we didn't contact him about using his video, we didn't ask permission, all this stuff, but he didn't. Another example of the Hex community and how it stands, how they're all very personable, likable, nice people that are just looking to see everybody else have fun and succeed. So errantsquire has definitely been instrumental in kicking off Shardcast, and I've done another video, another Shardcast that featured his feed. So I wanted to make sure he was definitely, I guess, recognized is what I'm looking for being the first video we were able to Shardcast. If you notice, a lot of this sounds impromptu as I'm doing this video. It's because it is. I'm doing this one take because it, like I said, it isn't about being pretty, it's about being glamorous, all stuff. This is all about thanking the individuals. So thanks again to Soldak and errantsquire for helping Shardcast along in the short period that's been going on. Next on the list is going to be Function. Function has a unique spot as well for the fact that when I first started doing research about Hex, before I even slackerbacked, well, I guess I had just slackerbacked, Function Fails was the YouTube channel I got a lot of my information from. And in fact, as KAGA and I were looking to first start doing the casting, we had approached Function first and foremost about using his videos exclusively. And he had gotten busy at work at the time, so we weren't able to make that happen. So I made sure I circled back around and got with Function about doing my first live Shardcast. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's actually, I don't want to say it's a mess, but compared to the rest of them, it's a mess. The episode is actually the third episode of Shardcast, and because the second one was with Function, and what happened was he saw the video, enjoyed it tremendously, gave me a couple pointers, and I had asked him if he could come on do one live. He was all about it. So the third episode of Shardcast, it's the third video on here. It's called Special Edition of Shardcast on December 5th. Again, third day of Shardcast. Very new and green. Well, I'm still very new and green. But we tried doing a live Shardcast. Hex had its problems that day of bugs and whatnot. Function's match got canceled because of it. We tried doing exhibition matches live. Those wouldn't work. So we ended up doing an impromptu interview. So my first interview on Shardcast was a Function. And it's really, really neat to see how that worked out live. So if you didn't have a chance to check that out, please check that one out as well. And thank again to Function for being such a good sport on that night and kind of rolling with the punches and being my first interview there. So, and from what I gathered, I don't know if he'd admit to this or not, I don't think he was ready for it to be a video interview. So I think he was just planning on coming on there and just, chatting up audio. But I had kind of put him on the spot and had him set up his camera. So thank you again to Function for that. Next on the list is Hacky. Hacky was my first, I guess, animated individual casting their own match. What I would do for these matches, I would go through and watch the match beforehand, at least for the first, I guess, dozen or so of these episodes, and kind of take notes. Hacky, by far, was the most animated streamer I had watched up to that point. So I was kind of excited to use his feed as a basis for one of the Shardcast episodes. So I want to give a shout out to him for that. And a lot of these next ones are going to be people I've used their Twitch feeds, and I gave them credit during the episode on the comments, but I want to give them credit again and thanks, because again, without their Twitch feeds, I had nothing to cast. So thanks again to Function and Hacky. Next on the list is going to go veer. Go veer again was someone who actually hopped in and watched me on my Twitch feed. Every once in a while, I'll try to, I'll attempt to play Hex. Not very well, for the most part. But when I try to play, I do try to do it live on my Twitch channel. And Goveer hopped in there and actually watched me play. We chatted for a while and actually turned around and casted one of his games. And he was very, very open to the idea of using his cast, and he made sure that he's retweeted a lot of my tweets out there. When I put a new video up on Shardcast, I will put a tweet out there letting everybody know about it. Goveer is very quick to retweet that so that all of his followers too will be notified that new video's up. Because as I said before, I don't have but a little bit, I guess I have maybe 18 followers now, I think, if I remember, if I checked correctly this morning. So anytime I can get a retweet is huge for Shardcast, because that's that many more people who may not know about Shardcast can actually view the video. This next one, I will say, these next several have been very instrumental in the blowing up of Shardcast, if I should say so myself. As I said at the beginning of this cast here, that the last 3 episodes that I posted on the 7th alone have put up 217 views in the last 3 days. And I can't thank these next few people enough, because I know it had a lot to do with their community they've developed, their following, because these people each retweeted. And they've been very, very, especially this next one, has been very, very, I guess, supportive and animated and excited about Shardcast. So next one on the list is going to be Mythic Fish Mom. I know a lot of you out there in the Hex community know Mythic Fish Mom very well. He did a couple of interviews with KAGA on the Tournament Streamers post-game shows and stuff like that. And I was trying to figure out on the last couple episodes whose videos I could do. Because it's hard when choosing a feed to Shardcast, because like I had mentioned in one of the comments of my video, I have to be able to grab a large chunk of the screen. So if you're looking to get good plug for me here, but I just want to let you guys know that if you want to have your video on Shardcast, I need to have a large chunk of the play screen, the actual battleground, if you will, available to view without your cam on there, without chat on there, because it would be confusing to the audience, I think. Maybe, maybe not. But just to make it cleaner, I need to be able to snag just the play screen. The Mythic Fish Mom was one of those I could snag. So I was trying to find one that I could use that was able to see a lot of the play screen. And I came across Mythic Fish Moms because I had followed him on Twitter. He's animated the community, and I love reading his tweets. I love following him along. He's a very good player, so I picked him up. Said, okay, cool. He's doing a couple of matches right in a row. I'll just grab a couple of these and just kind of make a, double header out of it. It was with Karn, and I'll get to Karn later on the list here for different reasons. So I said, I'll just do a double header. Didn't think anything of it. Did the double header, episodes 14 and 15. Put them out there. Instantly, Mythic Fish Mom retweeted it. Again, didn't think of it. Next morning, I've got like 30 views for each of the videos, which is instantly success for Shardcast. Oh, this is awesome. I made sure I put Mythic Fish Mom and Karn's information at the bottom. Awesome. Well, checked it again Thursday morning. Like 40-something views. Checked it yesterday morning. It's up to like 60 views for each of those videos. So that's when I first got the idea of doing this thank you thing, was because this blew up. So I want to thank Mythic Fish Mom for the retweets he's been giving my videos, because I can't deny it all, and I greatly appreciate that. A lot of the success has to do with a lot of these retweets. These last few videos blowing up has a lot to do with Mythic Fish Mom, as well as our friend Shaggy. I don't know how this timeline worked, but I'm going to take a stab at it. The same night I posted those videos, the 7th, I played some Hex afterwards, and went on my Twitch channel, was doing a live feed. I had hardly anybody in there. So I was just trucking along. just practicing because I had a couple tournaments I was going to play in. And Shaggy came in the lobby, in the Hex lobby. So I decided to challenge him. So I'm sitting there playing him. Turns out he hops in my Twitch channel. So he's the only one on Twitch channel. Now, most people would scoff at this and go, okay, it's not much of a match if he's looking at your hand while he's looking at his. I didn't care at this point in time. I've got the community manager of Cryptozoic playing against me, looking at my Twitch channel, chatting with me on Twitch. So I happen to already have mentioned a couple of my Shardcasts and whatnot. So he asked if I would send them the link to my Shardcast. So as we were getting done, I accidentally stopped my stream right before I posted the link to him. And I'm not quite tech savvy on Twitch enough to know if he got that or not. So I immediately sent him a tweet saying, if you didn't get the link, here is my information. Well, I don't know if you went and looked at the videos first or if you just saw my tweet from earlier in the night posting the 14th episode between Mythic Fish Mom and Arn. Well, he retweeted that. And again, you all know how many followers Shaggy has, both from his days back at Hex TCG Pro and from his days here at, I say here, I'm not there, but from his days as a community manager at Cryptozoic. So that was, again, very large for Shardcast. So I can't, deny the fact that Shaggy had a lot to do with this blowing up as well. So again, thanks to Shaggy, and if he's going to watch this video, I hope he gets in contact with me because I'd love to do an interview with Shaggy. Just for the fact that he has the point of view of being a caster, he has the point of view of being a, host of a show, then he went on to be a community manager. I'd like the point of view and like to have the opportunity to interview him. So Shaggy, if you're listening, if you're not listening, you guys, hopefully you can help me push to get Shaggy on board so I can do that interview on Shardcast. Next on the list is Mocog. Mocog fits in that mold with function and the fact that Mocog was the other YouTube channel I watched a lot for starting out. A lot of his one-on-one videos, a lot of his videos where he went over certain cards and certain decks, and I had the opportunity to play him the other night too. And as soon as I did that, I thanked him for it and immediately retweeted a lot of my stuff. And I have to give a shout out to Mocog for that as well, because again, without all these people in the community being as nice as they are, retweeting, giving me shout outs on their pages, that Shardcast would not be as successful as it is. So I wanted to thank Mocog again for that, and hope that the followers of his Twitter, Twitch feeds will come over and take a look at mine. I hope to do a couple of his games. Mocog is one person I have not been able to do one of his actual games and do a Shardcast of it. So he's on my docket to do one. So Mocog, if you've got one in particular you want me to cast, let me know. Moving forward, next on the list is Phoenix Forge. Phoenix Forge, I have to give a special shout out to. I just happened to recognize his name because I saw him out there in the tournament streamers. I saw his tweets out there, and I happened to see him in the lobby and played against him a couple times. Very, very, very personable, nice guy. Fast forward to Tuesday, I post my videos. Wednesday, I see him in the lobby as I'm deck testing for the tournaments. So I challenge him to a game. Immediately get the game. Hey Frodes, how's it going? Not bad, how about you? Saw your cast. I wanted to tell you, mad props, or mad respect, or much respect, I think it's something like that. Much respect on your cast. You do a very great job. Let me tell you, that was a giant boost of confidence for me. I do Shardcast because I enjoy doing it. I think a couple people out there may enjoy it. I think I might be building a small fan base. Phoenix Forge, I had not been following on Twitter. He didn't follow me on Twitter. I had seen one of his casts on, or one of his streams on Twitch. Nothing really substantial, but just a general good guy in the community that I just played a couple games with. For him to say that he had a lot of respect and really enjoyed my cast was a huge boost of confidence. Said, you know what? Maybe I'm getting onto something here. Maybe I'm actually doing something that people are enjoying. So, finished my games up that night. No big deal. Thursday night, hop on to do some more. Actually, I had just finished my XTCG Pro Challenge Series match, my round 1 match, and I decided I would do a little more deck testing afterwards. I didn't like the way it played out, and Phoenix Forge happened to hop in the lobby again. So I challenged him again. Hey, Frodes, how's it going? Not much, just lost my Challenge Series match. Decided to come in and do some deck testing. Me too. Hey, just want to let you know I didn't realize I had followed you on Twitter, so I started following you. I had literally just started following Phoenix Forge. So I didn't realize I wasn't following him. He said, awesome, I really appreciate it, thank you. Which would have been good enough for me. But then he turns around and says, I just gave you a shout out on my Twitch channel. That, if I can get a shout out on a Twitch channel, is huge. Because again, you have a captive audience that's following you, enjoys what you do. For you to endorse Shardcast, I can't thank you enough. And again, I don't know if Phoenix Forge helped boost those numbers or not. Again, I say boost those numbers as in the past few videos. I'm also talking about the videos that will be upcoming. So Phoenix Forge, Mocog, Function, everybody I've named so far, and still upcoming naming. You guys are still instrumental in the development and the success of Shardcast both in the past and the future. So the fact that he said he gave Shardcast a shout out in his feed, and even if he had Phoenix Forge is a pretty popular streamer. If he only had 5 people in there at the time, if those 5 people had not seen Shardcast up to that point in time, I got 5 more viewers. So thank you again to Phoenix Forge for the shout out there. Karn, I had mentioned you previously because I had cast a couple of your matches with Mythic Fishmom, but I wanted to give Karn a different, separate shout out because I played against Karn a couple times in the lobby. Very, very good sport, nice guy. I had also hopped in his Twitch feed a couple times and had a couple of discussions with him, to which we immediately started following each other on Twitter. And Karn is someone who will either retweet when I post a new video, or he'll favorite, so he especially favorited the ones he had with Mythic Fishmom. And though I haven't done streams from his Twitch feed, he's instrumental in the fact that he retweets my stuff. He goes out there, he promotes Shardcast. So I wanted to give Karn a different shout out, separate from Mythic Fishmom, because the Karn's push for Shardcast and promotion started a little bit earlier than that, so I wanted to give him a little bit separate shout out there. So last but not least, I've gone through most of them, but last but not least is someone you may have seen or may not have seen thus far in Hex. He hasn't quite started streaming yet, so he's not out there in the streaming community, and he's very, very timid thus far in the Twitter community. But I have to give a shout out to him because this is, again, someone else I know in real life that I can't thank enough. Reason being is because, and I'm going to flip over to him now, just so as I'm talking about him, you know who I'm talking about. Alarin, every time I do a new Shardcast video, the next morning, we both come into work. Hey, I upload a new Shardcast video. So-and-so's playing. It's a pretty good game. He will, usually that morning, immediately, will pull it up on YouTube and listen to it. Now, we're at work, so he can't watch the video. But this makes this extra important to me because he is now just an auditory follower of Shardcast. So this gives me a unique point of view to my Shardcast. It says, hey, you need to slow down speaking here. Or you did a great job explaining what was going on. I knew exactly what was going on without being able to view the match. One of the things I set out to do first and foremost was be able to be play-by-play person, if you will, and explain everything to you as it's happening, to where if you had to turn away from your screen to mess with the dog, your child, you had to go pull something out of the oven, but you still had the ability to listen to the game, you could still follow what was going on. One of the qualms I had with the casting of other esports is they're done in their unique point of view, and I have nothing really against them. But I would sit there, and unless I was paying attention intently watching it, I couldn't follow along. Because the casters would not finish a sentence, be yelling and screaming, and it'd be all over the place. And I decided that's not how I wanted to cast. I wanted to cast more like the, I guess, I don't want to say poker type play-by-play, but if you ever watched the World Series of Poker, watched WPT or any of those, the idea was that you could follow along without really paying attention to what was happening on your screen. And I think this isn't just important for that, but also for your beginning players. I know that I have a brief background in Magic the Gathering, but for those people who have an even more brief background or even new to TCGs in general, the idea of being able to follow along with my cast, and I can maybe provide some insight and or instruction to our viewer just by the way I'm casting. And I apologize, I told you I'm doing this one take. I've got my 6-month-old puppy behind me, so she's whining a little bit. I wanted to make sure I gave a unique perspective of the fact that if they're new to TCGs in general, they may be able to follow along even closer because of the way I'm casting. So I'm hoping I'm doing that well. That being said, I want to thank each and every person I have put their name up on the screen today, as well as those who I haven't, but have maybe given comments on the individual Shardcasts on the YouTube channel. Because I welcome any and all criticism. I'm new to this. I started December 3rd. That's a whole, was it 35 days ago? No, a little long. Good job with the math there, Aaron. 39 days ago. In that span of 39 days, there was a span of 2.5 weeks where I didn't cast. I was sick with the flu, sinus infection, holidays were in there. So, again, I've probably only got 3 weeks maybe worth of casting experience. So any and all criticism and feedback and support I can receive right now is huge. So I want to thank everybody for that. And I'm going to go back through these slides one more time very briefly, only because I want to give everybody another opportunity to have their name up here and their Twitter handle, as well as their Twitch feed, their YouTube channel, because I want you to be able to get some recognition off this as well. And maybe you can have a few more viewers that you may not have had, a few more followers that you may not have had. So again, if you're watching this, you're not one of these people, here's all the information again. I know it's going through briefly. I'm going to go ahead and post all this in the comment section as well. So that way you'll be able to actually click on the link. But I want to thank each and every one of these people, each and every one of my viewers, all 500 and I think I'm up to 550 and 560 now, for making Shardcast as successful as it's been today and going forward in the future. None of this could have been possible without you guys. I appreciate all the support, and I hope to continue to give you exciting, quality content throughout Shardcast. And if you have any ideas for me for the future, if you want your video spotlighted in a Shardcast, send me a tweet. Send me a message on one of the videos. Hit me up in game. Hit me up in the lobby. Let me know, and I'll be more than happy to. And I want to give a big thanks to the entire Hex community for making this a wonderful game thus far. Even though we're in the alpha stage, everybody has been great, been welcoming, personable, friendly, and that's made this even much more enjoyable. So, again, I'm Aaron Froats, Froatsylvania, host of Shardcast. Thank you, and have a great day.